Welcome everybody. Thank you for joining me. Going to be a relatively low-key yoga practice today. We're going to start on the ground and we'll kind of work up from there. Anyway, thank you for joining me. Find your mat, find a comfortable, cozy spot, and enjoy the practice. So as you're ready, just coming into a comfortable reclined position, taking a couple of moments to transition from whatever happened before, whatever's going on in the day, and just settling in to the mat, releasing and refocusing our energy. Bringing our attention into the breathing. Noticing that inhalation and the exhalation. Pulling that breath deep into the body. And then maybe actively exhaling. Maybe one more breath cycle here. And then as we're comfortable, maybe drawing our knees in. Perhaps rocking a bit from side to side. Releasing the knees so the soles of the feet find the ground. So maybe from here, if you'd like to put the block between your knees, if you have one handy, maybe engaging that block, just the way of drawing into the inner thighs a little bit, and rolling the hips up and down. Kind of thinking about lifting the hips and then each vertebrae one at a time as we come up and back down. So I'm going to take the block out and do a couple more. So if we think about shifting the legs to the left and the right, so I've gone ahead and separated the feet just a little bit wider than my hips. So this takes some of the twist, or most of the twist out of the spine, brings it into the hips, just getting a little bit of mobility. Maybe as things warm and we prepare and we feel a little bit more comfortable, maybe we bring the knees closer together. I generally, especially in this part of the practice, I don't generally keep the legs terribly close. I like this articulation of the hips. So, something for you to explore a little bit. And perhaps drawing the knees in once again, rocking from side to side. Maybe giving just a couple of circles here, finding mobility. And then from there, I'm actually going to roll onto my side and come up on our hands and knees. So flexing and extending a little cat-cow, flexing and extending the spine. Maybe pressing back to child's position from there. Sinking your hips back toward the heels, maybe releasing. When you're ready, maybe extending the arms forward, getting a good hold on the ground, drawing your shoulders forward, keeping the elbows close, lowering partway down, and pulling through, just starting to explore this lower series. Lifting through and pulling the hips back. And continuing if you'd like, drawing the shoulders forward, keeping the navel lifted, elbows drawn into the ribs, lowering partway down, pulling through, looking up and back to child's position. Maybe replacing the child's position with the downward dog as that's comfortable. Perhaps continuing, inhaling forward, exhaling as we lower down, pulling through, lifting back. And maybe pressing into downward dog, holding there for a couple of moments, maybe reaching one heel toward the ground at a time, just shifting our weight side to side if you'd like, kind of lifting the middle, dropping the chest. And perhaps walking the feet closer to the hands. Nice deep bend in the knees as we reverse our swan dive, bringing things up. Just finding the standing position for the moment. So shaking the arms out, maybe turning from the hips, just relaxing the legs, relaxing the arms, softening the shoulders, maybe rolling things out, lifting one ear or the opposite. So I like to create that opportunity to move the neck a little bit, rolling out the shoulders, shaking out the arms. A lot of times as I come back to that standing position. So I'm going to build a little bit here with my feet on the ground, inhaling as we reach, exhaling as we sit. So we're just starting with a little chair series, shifting the weight back, inhaling and exhaling. Inhaling and exhaling. One more time into chair. Just pausing, holding there. Two more breaths. One more. And when you're ready, inhaling, coming up. Exhaling, releasing the arms, rolling the shoulders out. Maybe looking up and down. Perhaps one ear or the opposite. So rolling those shoulders out. Maybe even finding an opportunity to cross the arms behind the body. Think about rolling those shoulders back, maybe looking right or left. All right, so a little walking warrior here as well. And just this idea of stepping back gently, again, rolling the shoulders open, exhaling as we come up again, inhaling and exhaling, inhaling and exhaling. One more time here. So with the next round, I'm actually going to add just a little bit of rotation. So as I step back, I'm going to turn away from that back leg. And I'll come forward on the other side. There's an inhalation, maybe turning away from that back leg, just working on lengthening that line. Inhaling. So one more to each side. So from here, I'm going to find the longer edge, right? So just stepping back as we're comfortable, pushing those toes to the corners, maybe sinking down just a little bit, just opening the hips a bit here. We're going to come back to a little bit more in that neighborhood a little bit later. But just a little sunflower, moonflower, getting the legs going. So a little bit of power in the lower body today, up and down. Exhaling. Maybe one more time through this series, from the 5-pointed star to the moon position, and the sunflower to follow, lifting, sinking into the moon position, and then maybe turning just a couple of times here. One more time to each side. And back, raising up, releasing the arms, shake things out. Perhaps paralleling the feet, hinging forward. So maybe we find the ground, just softening here for a couple of moments, relaxing the neck and shoulders. Maybe one more breath, lifting through the thighs, relaxing the chest and shoulders. And then coming up when you're ready, maybe working the feet together, shaking the legs out, coming back to the forward edge. So from here, I'm going to shift into a little bit more of the sun salutation. I'm going to be a little bit more in the flow here for a few moments. I'm going to go through this. My goal actually will be 4 times, right? So I get to lead with each foot. I'm going to alternate the feet, lead with each foot twice. So as you're ready, if you'd like to join along, inhaling as we float the arms up, exhaling as we gently pour forward, and finding that forward bend. Maybe coming up onto the fingertips here, and then planting the hands, stepping back with one foot and then the other. We've got our plank, elbows staying close as we lower partway down, hovering above the floor, looking forward and pulling through, looking up, lifting back. So we have downward dog, right? Dropping our chest just a bit. So the foot that stepped back is the foot that comes forward. And then we draw the second foot, reversing the swan dive. Everything comes up and sitting down. Inhaling, exhaling, fingertips down, stepping back, elbows staying close as we lower partway down, pulling through, lifting back, so downward dog, stepping forward, reversing, sinking down, inhaling, exhaling, here we go again. Fingertips, planting the hands, stepping back, elbows staying close, lowering down, pulling through, lifting back, so we have downward dog, stepping forward, reversing, sinking down, lifting. One more time. Step back, elbows staying close, pulling through, lifting back, finding downward dog, stepping forward, reversing the swan dive, and coming up, releasing the arms. All right, rolling the shoulders out, maybe shaking the arms. So I'm going to step back. So this time I'm stepping back with my right foot, finding warrior one. Just going to sink down into this posture a bit. So for today, I'm keeping my hands at my chest. I'm actually working to bring the energy down into the body a little bit. Feet are solidly connected to the ground. Both feet are connected. I'm actually kind of resisting into the mat a little bit, trying to stretch it out just a bit. And when we're ready, lifting things up, squaring the hips. Exhaling, taking things forward. So I'm going to walk down that forward leg, maybe finding the ground here, extending my body out over that forward leg. Ready, coming upright. I'm actually going to sink back into warrior one. And I'm going to lift that back heel. I'm going to come into the lunge here, just kind of stretching out just a little bit longer. So I like to do this with the leg long, but you might find, and actually some days this is even more of a challenge, actually putting the knee on the ground and extending forward. So just explore that a little bit as you're comfortable. So I'm resting my hands on that forward knee for the moment, using that to help hopefully extend the body. But I'm actually going to come into a twisting lunge. So I'm bringing my right elbow to my left knee, and then the palms are going to press into one another, and then gently turning through. Releasing. So from that lunge, maybe reaching the arms overhead. Exhaling as we pour forward. Go ahead and plant the hands into the ground. Stepping back, lowering down, pulling through. Lifting back, finding our downward dog. Then drawing our feet forward. Reversing the swan dive. Sitting down in a chair. And lifting when you're ready. Good. All right, so we'll do that sequence on the opposite side. All right, so I'm stepping back with the left foot, starting with a warrior one. Again, perhaps keeping the arms at the chest center, chest level. If you feel like you're trying to open the chest just a bit more, maybe even rolling the shoulders back, palms pushing toward one another behind the body. This is a favorite arm option of some of our people here, but this idea of activating the area between the shoulder blades. Lifting. So coming up when you're ready, and squaring the hips up, lifting the ribs. Exhaling as we take things forward, maybe walking down that front leg, finding the ground. Maybe one more breath here, just extending out over that front leg just a bit further. And when you're ready, pressing both feet into the ground, lifting things up. We're going to come up. Nice. And then back into warrior one, but lifting that back heel so we find the lunge. So again, maybe pressing into that forward knee to lift our chest. Again, we can explore the idea of lunging with the knee on the ground or staying upright. We're going to move into the twist, thinking about bringing the left elbow to the right knee, gently turning things around here, finding, good, twisting lunge.
comfortable. Lifting. Exhaling as we take it forward, framing that forward foot for a moment, stepping back. Elbows staying close as we lower down, pulling through, lifting back. And maybe drawing the feet closer to the hands, reversing the swan dive. Releasing down. Inhaling. And back to our sides. Rolling things out. Okay, so turning from the hips just a bit, relaxing the arms. So a little bit with the Warrior Two sequence. I'm actually going to step back again on the right side, and feeling as if my back is against the wall, extending the arms here, shoulders dropping away from the ears, reaching out from the center. Both feet connecting solidly to the ground, belt line parallels with the floor. Breathing in and breathing out. Inhaling as you're ready, lifting up. Exhaling, reaching forward, cartwheeling in. So maybe our hand finds the shin somewhere. Maybe we find the floor, or if you happen to be using your block today, maybe pressing the hands into the block. Stacking one shoulder directly over the other, long through the body. And when you're ready, pressing both feet in the ground, lifting everything up. Sinking into Warrior Two, maybe extending back. Releasing the reverse warrior. Coming up, and we'll go into a reverse or revolve triangle. So I'm actually going to take my right hand and go toward the left foot. Now, for today, I'm going to use a block to give my hand something to rest into or press into. I'm going to turn through the body. So the left arm goes toward the ceiling. Both feet continue to engage to the ground. Comfortable, back to the center. Reversing that cartwheel, coming up. Let's sink into Warrior Two. Just hold that for a moment. And then cartwheeling through Warrior Two, framing that forward leg, stepping back, lowering partway down, right, pulling through, lifting back, and bringing the feet up, reversing, sitting back in a chair for a moment if you'd like, lifting, releasing the arms, rolling things out. Sorry, pants. All right, so Warrior Two on the other side. So I step back with the left foot, extending out through the arms, dropping the shoulders away from the ears, breathing in and out. Inhaling as we come up, exhaling as we cartwheel in, finding the triangle on this side. through the left arm. Again, maybe we use our shin. If you have a block and you'd like to use that, use the block. And stacking one shoulder over the other, both feet connecting to the ground. And when you're ready, pressing both feet in the ground, lifting everything up. Maybe finding our way into Warrior Two once again. Or even reaching back for Reverse Warrior, right? Long through the sides of the body. Warrior Two, up, and cartwheeling in, revolve triangle, right? So finding that left hand toward the block or the ground, rotating through the body, right arm extending toward the ceiling, both feet maintaining contact to the ground. Reversing that cartwheel when you're comfortable. Sinking back into Warrior Two. Just getting the block out of the way. So finding Warrior Two. Breathing in, and when you're ready, maybe cartwheeling through, framing that right foot, stepping back, elbows staying close as we lower partway down, pulling through, and lifting back. So finding a downward dog. Maybe pausing here for a couple of moments. And when you're ready, maybe finding a way to bring the feet forward, reversing the swan dive. Sinking down, lifting, and releasing. Rolling the shoulders out a bit, shaking the arms. Maybe finding the arms behind the body once again, rolling back, looking right or left. Down. All right, so one more set of a little bit more flow. So in this flow, so it's basically a sun salutation, but I'm going to add the warrior postures in the middle, just one time on each side. So as you're comfortable, maybe we find that gentle standing position. When we're ready to draw a breath in, maybe sweeping the arms overhead. Exhaling as we gently pour forward. Inhaling, maybe coming onto the fingertips. Stepping back with one foot and then the other, or jumping if you'd like. Elbows staying close. Lowering down, pulling through, lifting back. So taking the left foot, pulling it forward, dropping the right heel as we lift the body, finding Warrior One. Exhaling as we come forward, framing that forward foot, stepping back, plank, lowering down, pulling through, lifting back, downward dog. This time the right leg, coming forward, dropping the left heel, lifting the body, inhaling, Warrior One. Exhaling as we take it forward, hands, stepping back, elbows staying close as we lower down, pulling through, inhaling, exhaling back, bringing the feet forward, reversing the swan dive here, exhaling as we sit, inhaling, and then going through it again, exhaling forward, in, maybe the fingertips, stepping back, elbows
elbows close, pulling through, lifting back. Maybe the right leg forward, I'm sorry, left leg forward, cartwheeling up for warrior two. Inhaling, exhaling as we cartwheel through, framing that left foot, stepping back, lowering down, pulling through, lifting back. This time the right leg, stepping forward, dropping, cartwheeling up, so we find warrior two. Cartwheeling through, hands framing that forward foot, stepping back, lowering down, pulling through, lifting back, and drawing everything forward, reversing the swan dive, sinking down, inhaling as we lift, releasing the arms, pausing a moment in our standing position. So maybe relaxing the arms here for just a moment, shaking things out if you'd like. And we're going to come into a single leg standing position. For today, it's going to be kind of a medium tree for me. So I'm going to bring my foot off the ground and press it below the knee, but into the lower leg. My right knee at this point is out to the side. I'm creating a little bit of an activity, rolling the shoulders back and just breathing. Maybe the hands come to the heart center. Maybe the arms extend overhead. Just kind of take them where you feel is most appropriate. And releasing that. Shaking these out. And the other side. Right? So one foot's in the ground. I'm standing actively through that leg. The other foot comes up. Shaking. Maybe turning from the hips, just relaxing the arms. Good. So one standing, I'm going to do an extension. Right, so I'm going to support just above the back pockets, kind of placing the fists into that space, rolling the shoulders back, breathing in and breathing out. So it's just a standing camel here, breathing in and breathing out. Releasing, comfortable. All right, so one more flow from standing. I'm just going to work my way, we're going to work our way down. Inhaling as we extend, exhaling as we swan dive forward one more time. Just finding this forward bend for a moment, maybe reaching through the legs, maybe cradling the arms for a moment, just letting the body hang into the forward bend. Let's go ahead and sink our hips back into a low squat. So just taking a few moments. Maybe lifting the chest through just a bit further. So from here, maybe taking the feet just a touch wider, and let's come up just a bit further. So this another way that this could be done is
as it from our sunflower, moonflower type flow, come up, but I'm just going to kind of hold my arms underneath. So maybe as if it were a standing happy baby. You can place the hands inside the legs and then sink down. I prefer to bring that support a little bit more internal today. So I'm going to just draw in a little bit from here. Right, so my arms are taken out. I'm supporting rather than kind of hanging into the middle, just holding myself up. And when you're ready, coming upright, extending. And let's step back to the forward edge if you adjust it. So we'll shake them out. Inhaling as we reach. Exhaling as we gently pour forward. Stepping back. So we've got our plank. Elbows staying close, lowering partway down, pulling through, and back. So just a couple of plank flows here. Inhaling as we reach. Exhaling as we pull forward, hovering for a moment. One knee. Inhaling as we come back. Exhaling as we come forward. Inhaling back. Exhaling forward. One more time. Inhaling back. Releasing. Now the other side. Right? Reaching up. Coming forward. Inhaling. Exhaling. In. And out. One more on this side. In. Forward. Back. And down. Coming forward to plank. Rolling onto one side. Stacking the arms. And back to plank. The other side. And back. So we can do that again. If you'd like to modify the plank, maybe lowering one knee and turning for side plank. And back. And the other side. Stacking one arm over the other. And returning, returning to the plank. Maybe one more time through the low series if you'd like. Pulling through. And then pressing back to child's position. Just sinking down here. Maybe from here, maybe we walk our arms to the right or the left. Just finding a little bit more length down the sides. So when you're ready, maybe finding your way up into a seated position. So for now, perhaps it's just an easy seated position with the legs crossed. Maybe walking the arms around, sitting tall, turning. And maybe going to the other side. Perhaps extending the legs out to the sides. Again, maybe using the arms to lift our chest. Perhaps pouring forward. And maybe folding them in. Perhaps lowering the knees. I'm just kind of leaning away from that, helping to extend the sides just a bit. And drawing the knees together, perhaps balancing on our seat. I'm actually going to spin around here. So perhaps balancing, maybe reaching out through the legs. Maybe lifting the arms. And perhaps drawing the knees in, rolling back. Maybe changing to the other side. A little bridge, rolling things down. Maybe lowering the knees to the left and the right once again. Now if you have a strap handy, maybe taking the strap, I'm going to recline here and extend one leg. So scoop that strap over my foot. Now if you're comfortable reaching the toes, that's fine, but the strap can actually, should make this a little more accessible and help us keep a little better alignment. So I'm reaching actively through both legs. Right, so I have my right leg overhead. I'm going to take the strap in my left hand and gently lower that across my body. Now, you can do this with the knee bent, but I'm going to stay long through both legs. Working to keep my right shoulder on or close to the ground as that left leg works, or my right leg works across to the left side of my body. So I'm still active through the left leg, even though it's really just there, but it is actively there. And coming back when you're comfortable. And maybe lowering to the outside. So I'm working to keep my left hip on the ground as the right leg works toward the floor on the right side. And when you're ready, coming back, I'm looping that strap, releasing the leg. So on the other side, looping the strap over the foot if you'd like. Again, extending out through both legs. Maybe taking that left leg, lowering it toward the ground on the right side of the body. And maybe coming back, perhaps lowering. Again, working to keep the right hip on the ground. Back overhead, releasing that strap. Perhaps drawing both knees in, rocking a bit. Maybe circling the legs, reversing.
planting both feet on the ground, maybe rolling the hips up, and exhaling, rolling things down. Maybe taking a couple of moments to find a reclined position that is comfortable, where we feel like we're able to release any tension that we're holding on to. And just melting into that position for a few moments. Breathing in and out as we recline here. Maybe bringing some attention to our feet. Softening through the soles of our feet, melting the ankles. Maybe we can continue that idea through the lower legs, just melting the tension out of the calves and the shin area. Breathing into the knees, finding the space in the joint. Expanding the breath in there, and then as we're ready, maybe exhaling, just softening this area, letting any tension go. And working through the thigh, same idea, right? Infusing these large muscles with breath. And as we exhale, releasing any tension that they may be holding. Softening the hips. Melting through the abdomen, the lower back, maybe even coming through the ribs. Just this idea of all this area can be easily expanded with the inhalation. And as we exhale, maybe we can kind of melt into the ground, just kind of softening that space. A little further up into the chest, softening the upper part of the chest, the shoulders, even maybe melting down into the arms, just releasing all the way to the tips of our fingers, letting go anything that we're holding on to. Softening the neck, melting around our mouth and nose, softening the ears. Just releasing the brow and all the way to the crown of the head, letting the scalp completely melt. Continuing to breathe here for a couple of moments. And when you're ready, maybe rolling to one side, coming up into a comfortable seated position, whatever that happens to look like for you. And closing out our practice together today with 3 breaths. The first breath, honoring the body for its work. Our second breath, honoring the mind for its attention, its focus on our practice. And the third breath, honoring the breath itself for its feedback and its flow. And when you're ready, taking a moment, saluting one another. Namaste. Thank you very much for joining me on this practice today. Hope to see you next time.